On today's starting nine, I recap games 1 and 2 of the World Series, and I preview game 3 of the World Series, including our trip, the entire crew. We're going out to Philadelphia. It's a great day. It's a great night. Happy Halloween. We're getting ready for a beautiful, the forecast. No rainouts. Let's just get into the fucking show. Action! Welcome back to Starting Nine. Carl here in Chicago. Colin Cooper in New York City. We're in the orange jersey. Happy Halloween. As we record this, Jake is in transit to Philadelphia to meet us for a rendezvous for what promises to be an explosive games 3, 4, and 5 in Philadelphia. Colin, welcome to the show. You don't have to say much, though. I'm prepared to Vince Scully this stuff. I know I'm wearing the orange jersey, but I told you I'm going to do a solo show here. We're going to keep it tight. We have a little bit to recap. We're going to do some questions, some mailbags. First, though, off the top, I want to thank Game Time for sponsoring today's episode of Starting Nine. They're the exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. If you haven't heard about Game Time, it's because you're dead. Honestly, if you're programmed into Barstool Sports content, even remotely in the least bit, you could just be scrolling through Twitter for a fraction of a second, and you know that Game Time is the exclusive ticketing app that makes it easier than ever to score last-minute deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows, and they guarantee the lowest price. Colin, you know it. Don't say it, though. I'm doing my Vince Scully. If you haven't given Game Time a shot yet, I don't know what you guys are waiting for. We've had a ton of Barstool fans using it, hitting us up on social about the great deals they're getting. I've been using Game Time all year. I went to Philly Game 5. I'm going to Philly Game 3. I said it in the intro. I told you guys. I'm going Game 4. Colin's coming with me. I think I have a ticket for Colin. I have not told him yet. If we don't have a ticket for Colin, bad news. He might have to be in the car. Even worse news, I don't think we rented a car, Colin. You are on your feet, walking around. But good news is we got hands on the camera. Better news is I'm using Game Time. I'm row 15. I'm row 10. I'm row wherever I want to be. Why? Because it's easy to use, amazing deals, fastest growing ticketed app in the U.S. You guys are going to love it. All you need to do is download the Game Time app, go to the account tab to create a login, redeem code STARTING9 for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply, obviously. Terms should always apply. Terms always apply, guys, to everything, but including this offer. So I'm going to say it again. Download the Game Time app, go to the account tab to create a login. Redeem code STARTING9 for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time. Last minute tickets, lowest price. Guaranteed. You throw that G word around. That means fucking business. I got a G word for you guys. I guarantee this thing's going 7 games. That's a G. That's a full guarantee. That's a Carl stamp signed seal of approval. We're going 7 games in the series. There's no way it's not. 5-0. Game 1. Laughing to the bank, Justin Verlander. Oh, of course the Astros are the best team. Absolutely fucking not. Here come the fighting Phils. Now, of course, people who've been back in the Phillies all year, you guys are probably laughing at us. As I'm laughing at myself now for doubting any time at any point. And this has kind of been a theme that comes up time and again with this World Series. The Astros, obviously with the Phillies, the textbook best team American League versus the most momentum I guess you could ask for on the opposite side. Now, maybe not the best team. The Dodgers put up more wins, but just the way the Astros do it time and again, replace guys, the depth. They have 6 pitchers that would pitch, I think, would be the number 3 on the Phillies for sure. Nobody outside the top 2 guys of the rotation. Like, Ranger Suarez is at the back of that bullpen. And no disrespect to Ranger Suarez. I'm going to get to him in a second. And again, Jake's in transit. Thank you guys for tuning in to Starting Nine. Take a chance to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you are right now, you'd probably notice I look like I'm in the Paranormal Activity 7. How many sequels are there? Don't answer it, Colin. I told you I'm doing the Vince Scully tonight. I will have a refreshment, though, right now. I'm sorry. I'm catching my breath. I'm jacked up. We're going to Philadelphia, like I said. Subscribe to the YouTube channel because we've got some organic content coming out on that. Allegedly, cheesesteak reviews. Someone tell me where to go when I'm in Philadelphia. And don't say Angelo's just because Dave Portnoy went there. That's such a meatball thing. I went to Philly, did a little cheesesteak review at Pat's and Gino's. Said, hey, I'm going to Philadelphia. Where do I go? So many people are just shitting on me. They're like, you have to go to Angelo's. I know Angelo's is legit. What I'm asking for is where's the greasy places in Philly? That's what I know. Slide in the DMs. I want the places like when your uncle gets out of jail, he goes right back to that. Then he goes like it's just like I'm not saying this correctly, and don't edit it, Colin, but I'm gonna try and capture what I'm talking about here. It's just a place, no punches pulled, cash only, family business, and a true family business. Some stuff run out the back. We like that. Now I'm getting long-winded. We got to get to the World Series here. This is obviously the momentum and the hype. I don't know if it can be matched at this point. Now, I've had a hard time on Starting Nine talking about stuff like this because every time I open my mouth, I know that people that have followed me forever are going to ask, like, well, what about 2016 and the Cubs? And to be honest, I thought that was a defeated feeling. I thought we were going to lose. Like the whole time, we were like, we're not going to win. We're not going to win. Yeah, it was exciting, but the Cubs they won the NLDS that year in 4 games. As Jake will tell you, they won the NLCS in 6 games. It was kind of a quick there were not a lot of dramatic moments after, I think, the 3rd inning of the 3rd game of the NLCS when Ben Zobrist laid a bunt down. Or maybe it was game 4. In any event, my point is, with this World Series, historically, I've had some drama being able to say, like, this is so fucking good. This is the best. But I'm just going to say it. The matchup in front of me is the most drama and as good as I can ever fucking remember. I thought the Cubs should have steamrolled the Indians. I can go back 2017. I don't know. The Astros and the Dodgers, Game 7. That was such a fucking eggs Game 7. Do you want me to keep going? Congratulations to the Red Sox in 2018 beating the Dodgers. 19, the Nationals, if you go look at those box scores, by the way, if you look at those box scores, blowouts. Just not really that for the most part. I guess the most surprising thing is the Astros dropped all fucking 4 games at home. How? No one remembers 2020, 2021. Obviously, the Braves. Congratulate Adam Duvall and Jorge Soler in the Hall of Extremely Obscure Players. Who's going to be in the Hall of Extremely Obscure this year? These are the questions I pondered. Before the start of the series, now I still don't know. I don't know. I have a couple big, massive, juicy fucking takes, I think. I want to remind you guys, if you're out in Philly, come say hi to us. We're going to be at the game. Jake's driving there right now, Greyhound bus. Is he? He is. And I talked to him about this because actually, this is a good reminder. I do want to get to the World Series. I'm not going to do this ad read. I'm going to do the World Series takes. Game 3 rained out. Noah Syndergaard was going to start. I talked to a lot of Mets fans before. They told me he blows now. I didn't say it. A lot of Mets fans that I've talked to were like, he's not that good. People that have watched him said he's not that good, so I had to go look at the numbers. It wasn't looking good on paper for Noah Syndergaard. Now, you like his experience. I think he's the only guy on the staff with a World Series start, 2015, the only game the Mets won. But back then, he was throwing 99. Right now, he's throwing 93. Right now, he's introducing a cutter, a sinker. He's throwing a slider 28% of the time. He's just a completely different pitcher. And it's no disrespect to him. I don't think anybody would say that's disrespecting Noah Syndergaard. Anybody's got to go through it. Now, I will say I did write a blog last week about Justin Verlander's velocity following Tommy John, and people shit on me in the comment section. So, for one, fuck you guys. 2, suck my dick. I'll say it. Suck my fucking dick. I'm out here slinging blogs, Colin. I don't giggle because you like when people talk shit to me. But I'm worked up because people are saying everybody gains velocity after Tommy John. Oh, fucking Traer. I raise you Noah Syndergaard. Body built like, I don't know, fill in the blank, whatever mythology you like. Norse is popular right now, more than it was when I was younger. People are heavy into Viking stuff. When I was a kid, it was mostly Roman, slice of Greek. They tried to do Troy. Brad Pitt fucking sank it. Overproduced. Could have been a much simpler set. That's a way different story. Stay with me. I told you I'd Vince Scully this. That means every now and then you're going to end up down a tangent. I didn't think I'd start talking Troy when we sat down and did the baseball podcast today, but my point is what? Honestly, what is my point, Colin? Don't tell me. Noah Syndergaard is beautifully put together. Honestly. Oil him up. Grease him down. Whatever the saying is. He still throws 93. I don't know what you want from me. However, Rob Thompson was very simple. He was going to say, just give us 3 innings tonight. You can't get 2 times too long, which I think is very fine and fair. I think if they gave Noah Syndergaard the ball and said, go give us what you got, I think that's lunacy. Fairly, I do, based on everything that we know about baseball and Noah Syndergaard, but mostly everything we know about baseball and Noah Syndergaard. You could just do maybe 2 times through the inning, or 2 times through the lineup. So that would be about 3 innings. That's what they said, and then it would be a heavy bullpen game. Now I bring up why I think that's interesting. Mostly to me, is that opposite him was Lance McCullers. And this game was priced like 115 to the Phillies. They were a minor underdog. Now, I know the raucous crowd, and that's a outstanding pronunciation of that word, a word I struggled with mightily. If you guys have words you struggle with, you conquer it. In that moment, take a moment to celebrate it because it's a great moment. I just had one for myself. I'm going to celebrate it. It's a raucous crowd in Philadelphia. Is it plus 115 raucous with Noah Syndergaard against Lance McCullers? I couldn't make any sense of that. So when you dig into it, you see Rob Thompson's comments. We're only trying to get 3 innings out of him, which means they're probably going to take him out in the 2nd inning with 2 outs. Realistically, who's hitting 8th? Maldonado? McCormick? They don't have a DH. Diaz fucking blows, by the way. I'm saying that out loud. He stunk when he was on the Cardinals. He was overrated his first year in the Cardinals. Blows, maybe not. Now I got to think. Like, if I would not say that if Jake was here. I'd be more respectful of the player. Now I'm just cooking. I'm cooking with gas right now, so I'm going to be respectful of the big league environment that we're trying to build here on starting 9. Diaz is underperformed. I can say that. And Trey Mancini, I think they're 1 for 36 in the playoffs. If we had a stat guy, look it up. You would not be allowed to contribute tonight, though, because it is the Halloween Vince Scully special. Okay. DH-wise, hitting 7th, hitting 8th. Like, I can see that person 8th. McCormick's up, runner on second base, 2 outs. Here comes Rob Thompson. Real respectful walk. Real respectful. Take it in the crowd. Looking around. Don't hang your head at all. Just a type of collaboration atmosphere. Like, the boys are getting together for Rob. He's still taking Noah Syndergaard out. He's bringing somebody in. Who that is, I don't know. They got a stable of dudes I didn't hear about before September. And I now, respectfully, of course, I know David Robertson and Sir Anthony. But I'm saying collectively as a whole, that Phillies bullpen, until this playoff started, I mean, a lot of those guys are trying out for contracts and making a name. So in a sense, maybe that is kind of a genius bullpen move. Get guys where it's like, hey, we know you're really talented. You just need a big moment. You just need some big moments to rally around. That's kind of what this Phillies bullpen looks like. Now, they'd go to it, okay. But then would you be completely fucked for Game 4? I think Rob Thompson's like, I don't give a shit because here comes Aaron Nola. And that's something we had talked about in the show, and I'm going to get to that in a second. But first, I got to talk about the fact, if you're on YouTube, you'll notice my hair is pathetic. I'm bald. I'm so fucking bald. I was going to be Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker for Halloween, but I couldn't grow my hair out in time. That's because I'm bald, and it's pathetic. 42%, almost half of men experience moderate to extensive hair loss in their lifetime, though. There are options available to help stop balding in its tracks. By the way, we're getting this information for the first time. Roman offers both prescription medication and over-the-counter treatments for hair loss. Roman also offers specifically formulated shampoos and conditioners. There are options available to help stop balding in its tracks. Research shows that 80% of men who used prescription hair loss treatment had no further hair loss after 2 years. Research has also shown that men who use hair loss treatments feel better about their overall appearance. Let's fucking go. Getting started is simple. Complete a free online visit, then a U.S. licensed healthcare professional will work with you to find the best treatment plan. If medication is appropriate, Roman ships it directly to you in discreet packaging with free 2-day shipping. The whole process is straightforward and discreet. Right now, Roman has a special offer for our listeners. Use this link to get 20% off your first order. All right, I had to see it to believe it. It's ro.co/starting. That's ro.co/starting. ro.co/starting for 20% off. 20% off, Roman. I thought those ad reads would be quicker because I'm doing them on my own. I got it. The next two I'm going to be fucking quick, but for the remainder of the show, we're fine on time. Everyone come together because I think we got to meet in the middle about a very mutual, interesting point here about this World Series, and that's Rob Thompson or Dusty Baker get to walk away as World Series champions. That's a warm. I don't care who you like, who you hate, whatever. Even the scummiest Yankee fan can be like, all right, that's fine. Dusty, they brought in Dusty because he was basically the only face who could come in after cheating allegations and not just get completely fucking run over by the media. Any new guy, like, oh, here's some new analytic dude. That guy his mom would be traveling with him on road trips to comfort him as he cried himself to sleep after media session after media session. No, you had to bring in somebody who is like, don't give a shit. Bring it. It's basically Dusty Baker, who, if you listen to Dusty Baker in interviews, I encourage you, go listen to Dusty Baker. He talks like he's playing. If you did not know Dusty Baker was a manager, you just took some of his sound clips and you put them next to other players. You'd be like, that guy hits third and wants to win the most. No, he's the manager. Wears wristbands. The gloves, I thought he used to wear batting gloves. Now he's just gone full surgery. He's gone full latex. Or I don't think you can wear latex. If you're around that many people in close quarters, someone's going to have an allergy. And in performance athletics as such. Dusty. Rob Thompson, on the other hand. Again, when am I going to give the guy's fucking biography? I'm learning about the guy just as much as you guys are. But what a story. You got 27 years of Dusty Baker. I think Rob's been around just as long, just nobody knows who he is. Now, chances are Rob Thompson will be managing for as long as he wants. I mean, it'd be nice to see Dusty get one. Take the Astros and the Phillies and the teams out of it. You know, it's a good situation. It's like when I was a kid, we had Baracos and Palermos. I do actually would like to have Colin join the show in a second. I'm going to do some stuff real quick that I want to run through. I put together some notes. And when I say put together some notes, I mean we got some reader emails. Thanks, guys, for sending them in. Thanks, guys, for sending them in. Colin's going to go through those reader emails for us in a second. I have a couple other quick things that I jotted down for this. I do think that the depth of the Houston Astros pitching staff has yet to really be fully understood. And with Lance McCullers pitching third, I don't know if he's the most talented out of the remaining arms that they have. Urquidy, Javier, Garcia. Now, I know some of these arms have gotten mixed in, whatever. I'm not saying this. I mean, out of, obviously, Verlander and Valdez are the 1 and 2 when you're setting that rotation. McCullers comes into the season with, I think it was like 44 innings coming into the postseason. However Game 3 goes, this is prediction time. I do think there's nastier stuff that could have started Game 3 for the Astros here. I don't necessarily understand why Lance McCullers was forced to start Game 3. My understanding is he has not been moved because of the rainout. My understanding is that the Phillies are moving their pitching because of the rainout. At any time, interrupt me, Colin, if I'm wrong. I'll let you, please. If I'm wrong, interrupt me. If not, I will call upon you for a great segment. We've dialed it up. It's sponsored. It's a fucking sponsored segment, guys. This is the Halloween show of Starting 9. It's Carl here. Subscribe to YouTube, our YouTube, not just YouTube in general. I mean, if you're not on YouTube, probably go create a login. I don't understand Lance McCullers starting Game 3. That's an important piece of this. I think none of that's been changed. Perfect. Now, Lance McCullers is nasty. I have a deep scouting report on Lance McCullers I want to talk about. Just high level as we get into Game 3. These Philly bats, like the only thing you can't do right now with them is let them get hot in spurts. You can't. Now, again, it sounds like I'm shitting on Lance McCullers. I'll get into his nasty stuff. A couple other quick high-level things. Don't blow 5-0 leads. Don't build 5-0 leads. Will we get to 5-0 again? 5-0 Game 1, 5-0 Game 2. I don't know how often that's happened. Because then it just stuck on 5. That would have been remarkable if the Phillies came back 1 Game 2. In either event, if you're the Phillies, probably just don't go down 5-0. Now, if you look at what the Astros have done through the first 7 games of the playoffs coming into the World Series, the whole bread and butter was just jumping out early. By the third or fourth inning, in most of those games, they had a lead. Obviously not the 18th inning. But by the third, fourth inning, the Astros had control of most playoff games of the 7. That's kind of their MO. Now you've seen it in the World Series too. There's a couple reasons for that. Jose Altuve is probably the biggest one. Do I have Jose? I don't have Jose. I'm going to talk about Jose Altuve, and then we're going to do. You know what? This segment of Jose Altuve is brought to you by Indochino. If you see me on the streets and I'm looking good, it's because I'm wearing the perfect suit. People think fine and it's impossible. It's not. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Choose your fabric, customize every detail to find the look that's perfect for you. Submit your measurements online or get measured in store for a custom made-for-you fit at an incredible price. And with their fall collection featuring new colors and premium fabrics, you'll be in style all season long. I ordered a 3-piece. Custom. The fabric was so custom, I can't even recall its texture. I just know it looked good, unique, distinguished. I'll walk into the wedding and guys will say, "That's Carl," except I didn't know he looked that good. I'm going to say, "What's up, guys? This is Indochino, 3-piece, made just for me, tailored experience, great price, designed to look exactly perfect, fabric to the cut." I shop for their made-for-you suits starting at just $449, and premium fitted shirts starting at just $89. You can fine-tune every detail, lapels, lining, monograms, and more. Lapels. Be a lapel guy. Care that much. Put that honestly, why not? Fine-tune every detail. Lapels, linings, monogram, and more. So much customization at Indochino. I'm saying that right. Design your perfect suit with Indochino. Get $50 off any purchase of $3.99 or more. Use promo code STARTING at Indochino.com. That's INDOCHINO.com. Promo code STARTING. Indochino. Or Chino. Indochino. I'm just kidding. This is a bit that allows me to say the advertiser's name over and over and over again. I read it somewhere. It was like, if you want more effective bang for your buck in advertising. Maybe a tip for some of you single fellas out there. Have I lost you? I just keep looking at you. So this is a solo show. This is Starting 9. It's the Halloween episode. We're getting into Game 3 here. Talked a little bit about Jose Altuve. I do want to spend a second on a deep dive. Jose Altuve was 1 for 25, I believe, through the first 6 games of the postseason. He had a double at the end of game 3, I believe, against the Yankees. And then his kind of started a little bit of I don't want to say like spark, but he's pretty fucking hot right now. I think he's 6 for his last 13, 6 for his last 15, a couple runs. You saw him set the tone early for game 2, first pitch. And there's a tie in there with Zach Wheeler that I think is interesting, but if you're Zach Wheeler in that spot, you absolutely pump a fastball down Broadway, start the game. Absolutely, 100%, no doubt about it, no questions at all, especially after they just lost game 1. But there's been kind of the switch with Jose Altuve, which I think is a response from him starting 1 for 24, 1 for 25, whatever the number was. He was fucking slow out of the gate, and that's fine. It's the postseason. Now, he is coming off a monster season, too. I don't know how much that's in people's minds. I know you say Altuve, people think, it's like the knee-jerk reaction from a lot of the general public, a lot of the people that are tuning in the World Series now, their knee-jerk reaction is like, oh, he's very good, but he's also a cheater. I don't think people realize just how good Jose Altuve was this year. If it was one of his better seasons in his career, absolutely. And he's fucking awesome. And he was slow out of the gate in the playoffs. And that shit's going to happen. Obviously, dude, you're running here comes Luis Castillo. Oops. George Kirby. Don't make me go through the pitching staffs. The Mariners are obviously legit. The Yankees have good pitching. And they held him at bay, and now he's kind of gotten out of his groove. Now, what is kind of the difference? To me, it's he's just jumping first pitch, second pitch right away. If you look over the last 2 games, he's not taking anything. If it's over the plate right now, Jose Altuve's smoking it. I think in game 2 he saw 7 pitches, 8 pitches. 3 of those were for hits. Then he gets in, he tries to swipe a bag, he gets thrown out. But whatever, I don't give a fuck. I'd rather have him get caught. At this point, now JT, that's tough. Running on JT is tough, but running on some of those pitchers is not. I'll say that. Some of those Philly pitchers are long as hell to the plate, which is different. Actually, we probably won't have time to get to that, so I'll just say it. I think the Phillies are long as hell to the plate. I think Lance McCullers is not. That will be in the scouting report. But now that from what you see from Jose Altuve, if you're the Phillies coming in, I was very much wired into how would Noah Syndergaard pitch him to start this game. I thought we would have saw a buffet of sliders. I thought it would have been Slider City. I think it would have been slider. And I think if he gets on, I think it would have been the same thing to Pena. And if he got on, I think it would have been the same thing to Alvarez. And I think Wheeler just got caught. Honestly, people are like, oh, what fucking happened to Wheeler? I think he just got caught snoozing. And the Jeremy Pena down was a fucking ground ball. You know? If Altuve's not on second base, Bohm's not playing in front of the bag. And I'm surprised that they even are. Someone pull the numbers on Astros sacrifice bunts. It's probably not a lot. To me, I would imagine that's an extremely low number. But for whatever reason, now Alec Bohm's forced in, even with the bag. Was he on the grass? I didn't understand that either. Normal depth, Manny Machado. Jeremy Pena's double in the bottom of the first of game 2. I could be misinterpreting this. I thought that was in. But that's the nature of the game, right? So we could sit here and say, oh, what's the difference? The Astros come out, they punch in the mouth. Well, they're going to be aggressive early in the count. I think that's absolutely in their DNA now. The Astros went into game 2, we're like, we are not letting Zach Wheeler even get in a position to bully us. Because you know how if Zach Wheeler's in a position where he can really, really spin and feel his breaking stuff, you're fucked. Because he's got the 97, he's got 96. At minimum, he's got 96. With carry, sink, just life. Just straight up life. You'll see, JT will miss fastballs up in the zone. Did he cross him up? Nope. What happened? Just late action in the glove. Holy fuck. Now the way you limit that is you just don't let that guy get in a position where he can bully you and push you around. And how do you do that? You just come out swinging right away, which may sound ineffective if you're thinking, we'll get deep in the count, Moneyball and all this and that, which I guess makes sense. If it's maybe like a hot fucking Thursday in August and he was out boozed the night before, or it's just the middle of the season, you're not getting these guys in peak performance. But come on, guys. I think everybody's coming to the field locked in at their absolute best. So on that front, little squeak. That's fine. Little squeak. Little Halloween fucking pipsqueak. But from the mindset of being focused and all that bullshit, throw it out the window. Zach Wheeler is going to get on that mound. You know he's bringing 97, 98. You know he's bringing absolute fucking cheddar all night, boys. Okay? You know he's looking the first chance he can to throw a filthy hammer and put your ass back in the dugout and look at your boys and go, it's fucking sharp. The first chance he can get into a situation to throw you a filthy slider. And the Astros just didn't let him do it. Now I think a lot of that's on Jose Altuve. He jumped out right away. And again, Jeremy Pena, yeah, sure, I know. I just big leagued the shit out of him and said that the fucking ghost of Brooks Robinson would have made that play and Ron Santo was diving to his left to prevent the run on the board. Whatever, throw that shit out. Still, it's a double. And they got to him early. And it just completely changes the dynamic of the game. Now you're asking the Phillies to come back twice. Okay, they did it for Nola in game 1. All right, now to do it in game 2. All right, so now as you go into game 3 and you're Philly, take a deep fucking breath. Okay? It terrifying to me that Noah Syndergaard was slated to start. Now you get Ranger Suarez, who allegedly doesn't give a shit about anything. If I've learned anything about the Phillies this year, it's that Ranger Suarez is supposed to be like a stone-cold killer. And I may mean that, like, as literal as possible. He's supposed to be a stone-cold ice, just bring him in whenever they want. Bases loaded, nobody out. Bottom of the first. Go get us 26 outs. 8? 27 outs. Or 24, depending on, right? Is there a situation? Guess if you get your ass kicked, you only need 24 outs. My point is Ranger Suarez is pitching game 4, and it's a completely different mindset than Noah Syndergaard. Where Noah Syndergaard, your butt cheeks would have been clinched. But for the Phillies, can you get to just the 4th inning? Not even the 5th. We're not even saying get to the 5th, 6th in a tight game. Can you just get to the 4th inning and be tied? Man, what a victory for them. If they could get to I know I'm going to repeat myself again, but like if you can get and let the crowd and let the momentum and the energy of the place build and marinate and let the game stew in the fact that there's so much at fucking stake. The worst thing you can do is down 2-3-0 again in the top of the first before the bats can even come alive. Yeah, I'd say this first inning of Game 3 is just about as important as ever. Ranger Suarez is on the mound to do it. As a Phillies fan, I would say confidence levels should be soaring, I would assume. Soaring. But again, I don't understand why Vegas had him priced plus 115 for the game. Money line? Dogs? Plus 115? Noah Syndergaard? That was a true and sincere Noah Syndergaard plus 139 at home. I didn't want to say 40 on it. I'm not disrespecting the Philly faithful. You guys come at me. You think we're plus 140 out this fucking crowd? No. I think the crowd's worth a touchdown, folks. I think the crowd is worth a touchdown. Speaking of which, I'll be in the middle of it. Tonight, as we record this, you're listening to this, I'm in Philadelphia. I'm getting my mind right. I've already asked for food reviews. I announced this. I'm in Philadelphia right now. I'm eating the food that you guys have DM'd me. Go to Angelo's. I know Angelo's is good. I don't want to disrespect those guys. Send me somewhere else. You got to go to Delco. I don't know the Delco accent. I just need to go to Delco. I met a lady from Delco. She was talking about her high school. Question. Did I like that? Answer. Yes. All right. We have a mailbag here. Colin, let's get to it. I may interrupt you at any time of these questions with a sponsor. We have a remaining sponsor on the Starting 9 Halloween show. You know who it is. I may ask you to get close to the camera and show me a little bit of something for that sponsor. We're not doing the sponsor, though. You have a mailbag, you told me. Please, indulge me.
Yeah, we got a couple questions from the fans. First one's from Kate from St. Joseph, Michigan. She says, Justin Verlander has a 6.07 ERA in 44 World Series innings. What gives and why does he suck in big games?
Okay, interesting. Thank you, Kate from St. Joseph, Michigan. Love Michigan, especially this time of year. Pure Michigan. If you get a chance to get outside in Michigan, you smell the leaves, the air. It's apple orchard. That's apple orchard heaven, and it's pumpkin picking season, folks. Justin Verlander does kind of suck in the World Series, doesn't he? Not as good. Does it have something to do with the elevated focus of the hitters and just all the stakes are on the line, and even though his stuff is fucking nasty, it's still a four-seam fastball? Like, I could just never understand that about Justin Verlander. I can't wrap my head around it. It's a four-seam fastball. It's up in the zone. It's down in the zone. It's perfectly located. Some of those 2-0 four-seam fastballs he throws, but it's like he can't when I say perfectly located, it's not even remote exaggeration to call it video game pinpoint control. It just comes in like a fucking laser. Boom. Now, a couple things minor. And we've talked about this before on the show. Like, Jake's elaborated on this from his own personal experiences. I know from my own personal experiences. I also know from watching baseball and just fucking know. You just know a little bit. Just a little bit. I got to use it. Just a little bit. Can impact that and can take you out of what guys have described as a flow state, or really just being locked in, fucking dialed in the zone. Boom, boom, boom. Throwing bullets, which is no different than any feeling you've had. I can compare it to like being on a tee and you're like, I know I'm hitting the fairway. Now maybe the iron plays a little shoddy or the free throws are just fucking sinking. Like, you're just locked in. Things are coming to you naturally. If you're a sales guy and you're making the phone calls and it's like one of those days, you're just like, wow, dude, I set 7 meetings today, or, you know, whatever it is. Like, when you're overachieving, or you're just like locked and dialed in, and things feel easier than they normally are. That's how I feel Justin Verlander is able to get to a lot and consistently. And there's something about these big games now where I think through 44 innings, like, you see enough where is the dude that's throwing? Where's 8 innings and 11 strikeouts? Now, I'm not asking for 8 innings and 11 strikeouts from a guy who can't do it or doesn't do it or hasn't shown historically that it's in his. Like, if there's one guy who should be capable of doing it based on his body of work, it would be him, right? If there's one guy who you'd be like, dude, World Series, fucking in that big old dog and pony show, give me the 6 foot fucking nasty 230 lean, Old Dominion, give me the big boy. Give me 99 out of a fucking cannon. I don't get it. So why does he suck in the big games? There has to be something, because I think there's enough now where you can't say small sample size. Like, if it was 2020, I know he was hurt. 44 innings. That's how many he's pitched in the World Series. How many starts? Let's just say he's made fucking 9 starts. That's bad. I shouldn't just throw that out there, guys. I should actually get the date on it, because if I'm wrong, then the guy's made 7 starts or whatever. World Series. 8. Okay. 8 starts, 43 innings. If it was June and Justin Verlander had a 6.07 ERA, people would say he was cooked. So, I think that's my comparison. Why does he suck in big games? I think the question is, should we be able to say he sucks in big games? I think we'll see Game 5. Honestly, we'll see. Now I feel like Colin Cowherd. I know I'm doing a solo show. I wanted to be Vince Scully. Now I feel like Colin. Because I think we can say he sucks if he lays an egg in Game 5. But I fucking mean it when I say it. I mean it. Like, we could say, like, all right, Justin Verlander blows in big games. If he goes into Philly, we saw him give the finger to the fans, kind of thought that was funny. I wrote a blog. Maybe I like him now. But, like, if he goes into Philly and he lays a fucking egg, do they move him up Game 4? Do we get to see him get shit on? I just had this realization. I will be at the game to realize if whether or not Justin Verlander's is he a dog in big games. 8 starts, 44 innings. Like I said, if this was June 3rd and he had a 6.07 ERA and we were filling out these all-star ballots, no, he'd be cooked. I'm sorry. We're at 45 minutes, folks. Let's do an ad read here real quick. We'd like to thank Beard Guys. This is a note from Beard Guys. Colin, I don't know if your face is going to be on. However you're going to edit this. You edit how you see fit. I want this face in. Beard Guys offers a comprehensive collection of beard care products that Colin uses for all types of facial hair and skin types. But look at Colin's. It's clean. It's a great beard. He uses their enhanced products. He moisturizes. I don't think you style. We've talked about this. I'm actually getting a little disappointed with your lack of use of style product, Colin. We'll send you a new box. They deliver high-quality, badass beard care with irresistible beard scents and styles. I know it. I'm growing it for playoffs. The HD on my camera is down right now, so you can't. I got some white hairs. It's blended in more. We're working on it. But their best-selling products include Beard and Wash Tame, 2-in-1 washing conditioner for beard hair. So that's a 2-in-1, guys. You wash and condition. Deep cleanse, nourish. They got Beard Balm, tames facial hair while keeping it soft and smooth. Keeps your beard conditioned, tame, balanced, and soft while providing a light hold. A light. She'll give you a stiff hold. You wear that beard just right. We got beard oil packed with a blend of origin, argan, avocado, coconut, grapeseed, sunflower, jojoba oils. Craft your beard care routine today at beardguys.com. Beardguys with a Z. Beardguys.com. Send me your beards. Confession, beardguys.com. I've been using your products on my mustache. I've been taming my stash. Question number 2. Aaron Nola pitched better because he honestly just... Did he? I don't even know. Who answered this question? Francis? Here's what I'll say about Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler coming into this game. Okay, how about this? I'll set it because there's probably 1,000 questions going on, all of which equally just as confusing. Okay, dogs. 2 absolute fucking dogs. And because of this this game 3 rain out or whatever, you're guaranteed locked in that like they could bounce back and be barking real loud in the game 7. You know that you're going to get an opportunity here 4 or 5. Full rest, moved up. Just an unbelievable advantage for him. And my understanding too, MLB off day Friday, game Saturday, game Sunday. So now you have just a tremendous amount of momentum. If you're talking about Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler, it should be in positive circumstances. Like I said, there is nothing the Houston Astros could do to beat Zach Wheeler other than jump on a couple early fastballs, take a lead, hit him around a little bit. And then at that point, all right, now you have to play a perfectly clean baseball game and then hope that nothing goes bad. No bloopers, no fucking Texas leaguers, nothing in the Bermuda Triangle, no hit by pitches, no bullshit, really. No catcher's interference. Like, you really have to play a perfect, clean baseball game. Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler absolutely will be pitching at their maximum potential in games 4 and game 5. Just the question is, like, will there be, like, the mistake in the first or the second inning? How aggressive are the Astros going to be early? You know, Jose Altuve went into this series being like, if I see something, I have to go. I can't be up there taking fucking pitches because I'm the leadoff guy. Now, I know he's got a high motor and swings at the first pitch and pops and is aggressive and all that shit, but he's really flipped the switch in the last couple games where it's just like boom, 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 boom. Go look at the pitch totals. I mean, there's some games in against Seattle, obviously Seattle where he's seeing a ton of pitches, but seeing games against New York where he's seeing 18, 20, 24 pitches. So, no, I think there's nothing about either Nola or Wheeler that would suggest that they're not absolute fucking gangsters, that they're not in a perfect position to roll, dominate, do their thing. If anything, the question should sincerely be about what that bullpen's going to look like. Because I think you're going to have monster moments and people keep pointing fingers at the Astros saying, well, the Astros are going to be nervous. How about some of these Phillies players? I would imagine there's going to be some of these Phillies players. I'm not saying Rhys Hoskins. Come on, guys. Don't be pointing at Rhys Hoskins. But I think there's opportunities, absolutely, for some of these Philly players to feel just as much pressure. To feel just as much. More? No. No, these Astros guys are going to be getting the business. Big time. But, no. Aberrations. If anything, you've seen Nola and Wheeler get hit around a little bit, moved around. Lines that they wouldn't really, box scores you wouldn't find. So what's more likely is that, they trend back, especially at home. You get to go Ranger, Nola, Wheeler at home. Ugh. Okay. All right, I lost Colin. I lost him. That's okay. I'm looking for him. I got the third question. I got the third one. Oh, fuck. I should actually just mention that I think Wheeler matches up perfectly with the Astros lineup if he can get going. More than Nola. I think Nola's obviously awesome. Both guys are awesome in their own right. We broke down these guys at length throughout the last couple of podcasts. Jake obviously playing with them, me watching them, knowing their stuff, hawking Fangraphs, hawking it. And they both have absolutely filthy stuff. Okay, fine. So the Astros get them. They split. Both guys gave you starts you don't love, and you split the first two. Nobody sucks, nobody blows. All right, question number 3. I know you guys love JT Real Mito. JT Real Mitos. They really write down Real Mitos like it's a fucking grocery store on the north side of Chicago. Hey, come on down to Real Mitos. But they wouldn't say that because if you worked at it, you'd say it's Real Mito. But the people in the neighborhood said Real Mitos. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you are missing out. Not me. Do not criticize me for doing hyper-local inside jokes about grocery stores right now. You are the one who's missing out. What do you guys make of his first postseason? This is from Richard from Wauwatosa. Hey, Richard. Are you selling brake pads, Richard? JT Realmuto. I mean, what can I say that people haven't said about JT Realmuto? Probably a lot. And if I did, it would all be false. I'd have to make it up for you to hear stuff about him for the first time. JT Realmuto is a fucking gangster. I'm not going to read off his numbers. I will. He's obviously coming off one of the best seasons of his career. Offensively, it was his best season. The computers say it was his best season. The team went to the postseason. It's the first time he's been to the postseason in his career. By all stretch of the imagination, JT Realmuto, this is like, you couldn't ask for him at a better spot in his career, in his life as a baseball player. First postseason, 265, 345, 469. I don't like reading numbers off like that. I don't. He's 13 for 49. He's got an 815 OPS. He's done very well at World Series. 2 games only. 3 for 8. Jack. Double. Go ahead, Jack. I think JT Realmuto, I mean, all right, fine. I could sit here and talk about the offense. It's the same shit with JT Realmuto offensively. Big moment, he's there. Pop to right field, got it. Velocity, doesn't fucking matter. You're going to go look at the numbers and you're going to be like, wow, this guy's solid offensively. Yep. Ultra consistent, hits the ball hard, never overmatched, knows exactly what he's doing. Now you could say, is JT Realmuto going to win you a series? Yeah, actually is. Could. He's like that type of guy who could take it over. It's just not, I guess you just don't see him go through these like massive 3-for-4 streaks. 4 for 4, 3 for 4. He's just consistent. He's just solid. Now, here's the big difference maker to me and JT Realmuto. And we talked a little bit about the bullpen. Dude, JT Realmuto is coming in this postseason. He's just mastered that pitching staff's outstanding. Just leadership. How are they going to beat the Cardinals? I don't know. Now, they didn't give up a ton of run to the Cardinals. They only hit, I think, 140 or 150 as a team, but they figured out a way to win those games. Same thing playing the Braves. That pitching staff, now I know Nolan Wheeler, and we just sucked their dick, but, like, he's back there dealing. He's back there dealing. I know that doesn't make sense, but JT Realmuto is back there dealing up a game. All right. Now that he's in October, it's just everything's heightened and elevated. So that's why you see guys with that makeup and these characteristics just, like, take steps forward and just be like, dude, yeah, of course JT Realmuto's playing well. Of course he hit the go-ahead home run. Of course he's playing well. We'll see what these next 3 games will be outstanding. Next question. Last question. Last question? Is this our last question? Game 3 preview show?
Last question from Adam Smith. Do the Phillies shit on Lance McCullers, or is he one of those good, pretty boys?
He one of them good, pretty boys. Thanks, Smitty. Hopefully we'll see you soon. All right, Lance McCullers, I'm going to make the most of my time here. We have 4 minutes. I'm going to make the most of my time. First thing that pops when you look at Lance McCullers is he's a high first-round draft pick. He's a high first-round draft pick from Florida. High school. He is not big at all. He is an undersized, just like a little, I think he's listed at 6. I'm pulling his exact reference out. I think he's listed at 6'1". He can't be more than 6 feet tall. There's absolutely no way. First round pick, 2012, out of a high school in Florida. Undersized righty. And he was part of, like, when the Astros were doing their computers and they're like, we like all these guys. Everything just, like, the pedigree about him, what I'm saying, is, like, out of the box, you just look at, like, okay, so how do you get to the big leagues? When you see an undersized pitcher, there's a couple things at play. Like, Travis Wood's an undersized pitcher. Travis Wood also had one of the nastiest curveballs any left-handed pitcher was throwing at any time in baseball, regardless of the fact that he was 5'11", 6 feet tall. Tremendous athlete, fielded his position well, commanded a fastball, could move it around, had a good cutter. Also just had a filthy curveball. Tim Lincecum's another example of an undersized pitcher. I'll keep going down the fucking list if I have to. But immediately when you see a pitcher and they're undersized, you should just ask a question of, like, all right, where do they come from and what makes them unique? Because something should. And so when you see Lance McCullers as an undersized pitcher, it's like, oh, he's a first rounder from a fucking high school in Florida. All right, you know this dude just has it in him, the genealogy, the makeup. This ain't some late blooming whatever. This is a dude who walks around with confidence in his life. And I'm not even saying about anything with, like, tape-wise. This is a guy who just, like, has a presence about being around the baseball field. 6'1", throws a fuck ton of sliders. Throws his fastball 25% of the time. Throws his slider about 28% of the time. He's got a very filthy curveball. He's got elite spin rate, meaning, like, the breaking ball is just as sharp and as nasty as it gets. And that kind of ties back to what I was saying originally with the makeup of that high school kind of Florida, you know, like, dude, I'm the man. All I've done is be the man. If I was 3 inches taller, I'd be a top 5 pick, so go fuck yourself. That's a cool attitude. And the fact that, like, he has he has absolutely, like, carried that attitude into his stuff, into the way he dominates and the way he pitches. You've seen how filthy some of these sliders are. His breaking stuff, electric. Now the question for me is he doesn't like to throw his fastball. He throws his fastball, like, in atypically, I'd say. He just, and you almost don't even want to say he pitches backwards because it's disingenuous to Lance McCullers. He is a kitchen sink. He'll throw anything at any time. Now, if he gets you at 2 strikes, you're fucked. If he gets you at 2 strikes and he's done it in a way that's kind of expanded the zone, you're really fucked. Now, if you fouled off a fastball on 0-0, okay, and you swung through, like, a curveball in the dirt, I think that's a little bit. What I'm saying is, like, if he's moved you inside and he's moved you outside, or he's pitched you up and he's pitched you down, if he's able to, like, sequence you at all and you get to 2 strikes, you're really fucked because of how good and deep and repeatable all this stuff is. Now, a lot of people spend time talking about a slider, as I have. The thing that I think is most unique to me that I think is going to pop big time Game 3 is McCullers' changeup usage. It was only like 18%. I shouldn't say only. That's good. That's very good. That's what it should be. But I think the changeup in Game 3, I think we're going to see a lot of moments where Lance McCullers is out there just like, I didn't know he had such a – I can see John Smoltz doing the cut-in the 4th inning. Well, guys, let's take another look at this. You know, and it's the changeup. It's the changeup. That's exactly what I think is going to happen from Lance McCullers. I think he's going to pitch very well. But I think the Phillies are also going to be hacking early. And if you're short, you'd be looking for just off speed. I know it sucks because a lot of those guys are definitely fastball slider. And McCullers is not the type of hitter you can get in or pitcher you can go up against and just say, I'm going to react to the fastball, let it travel, get deep. I would imagine he's a guy you just got to pick a pitch in a spot. I think he's going to throw me a breaking ball, and I think it's going to be right here in the middle of the plate. I think you got to be ready to swing. That's just how deep it is. I'm excited to bump that opinion up against Jake tomorrow. We'll be in Philadelphia for the game. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you very much, Colin. Happy Halloween.
Happy
Do you have
Halloween,
any thoughts, anything you want to share before you go to your first World Series game, or maybe not your first World Series game? You probably went to watch the Mets lose one of those.
No, I was down in Alabama for that.
Oh,
so.
no.
No, I have no
All
comments.
right, so this will be your first World Series experience.
Correct.
At Citizens Bank.
Can't wait.
Wow. All right, well, I'll say this. Philadelphia, I'm excited to see you guys tomorrow. A little fucking enthusiasm, if you don't mind. A little enthusiasm, if you don't mind. This is Starting 9. Carl here. Jake's in transit. We're going to talk to him soon. Go subscribe to our YouTube page. Tell a friend about the show, or don't. Prefer you do. Buy some merch. We'll see you at Philadelphia. Until next time, hey, how you doing?